first impression is always the most important, and when the hero makes their grand entrance on the silver screen, it's easily the most memorable part of the movie. It may also work as the USP for certain films, as we all know how crazy people are behind superheroes. Also, this is a special sequel to my previously made superhero entrances video, so without further ado, let's go down memory lane as we talk about the 10 superhero entrances that left us in awe.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
So to start off this list, let's highlight one of the most memorable entrances in Avengers Endgame. Since it's been a while since the movie came out, I don't think spoilers are going to be an issue for this now, are they? Midway through the battle of the Avengers versus Thanos' army, the Titan attempted to go after the Infinity Gauntlet. However, he was stopped by the chaotic entrance of Scarlet Witch, played by Elizabeth Olsen. Her body radiating with a powerful red aura and hatred brimming in her eyes, Wanda bit out her famous line of, "You took everything from me." But given that this Thanos was from an alternate time frame, he replied in mild confusion. He then attempted to attack her, but Wanda proceeded to show him exactly why she's called the Scarlet Witch and held her own against the Titan, getting at least some small form of revenge for what he did to Vision in the previous Infinity War film. Now, as I'm sure the majority of you know, the purpose of a heroic alias is to hide your true civilian identity. After all, you don't want your arch nemesis to know where you go to meet your friends every Friday to hang out. But then there are the heroes who, well, just have to strut their identity like a peacock showing off his plumage. And that's the kind of entrance Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, made right at the start of Iron Man 2. Not only did the technological genius in the armored suit reveal who he was, but he did it with such fanfare that included an official announcement, dancing girls, spotlights and sparkles on a giant stage, and all in front of an audience of tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. Now, while most traditional heroes and fans likely face-palmed at this proud display Tony made with no regard to his identity, you can't deny that this was one hell of an entrance to make for his sequel film.
You guys won. I didn't do anything. I've been here all day.
Our next entrance will speed past you if you blink, so keep your eyes peeled for this one. It's another day and another time warping adventure to save all of Mutant and mankind, as Wolverine has to assemble the X-Men all over again from different points of time when they're not as grand as their future selves were. One of his recruits was Pietro, also known as the speedster mutant Quicksilver. Admittedly, his entrance isn't the most awe-inspiring, since Logan, Charles and Eric just go down to Pietro's room, but Evan Peters' portrayal of the speedster mutant was quite spot on with Quicksilver's signature trolling attitude and provided some much needed lightheartedness in a serious movie, making it a very first memorable appearance.
It's cool, but it's disgusting.
There are things that go bump in the night, but they're not always out to harm us. In fact, few of those bumps could be a nightly protector. That's the type of bump in the night Blade the Daywalker makes, as he defends humanity from occult beings. As we all know, Blade, played by the distinguished Wesley Snipes, was the first hero from Marvel Comics to have a live-action movie. And the positive audience response to that movie not only gave Mr. Snipes 3 more movies to play in it as the Daywalker, it also forged the path for all of the Marvel movies we have today. So it makes sense that he gets a badass entrance on the silver screen. It starts out with a vampiress taking her unsuspecting human date to a nightclub for bloodsuckers, and the unlucky fellow soon realizes the danger he's in when the fire sprinklers start raining blood on both him and the partygoers. He tries to get away, but it's clear that he's as good as eaten. That's until he bumps into his savior, that is, Blade the Daywalker, strapped in black and armed with an arsenal of vampire-killing weapons, as well as wearing his signature trench coat and shades. The vampires aren't horrified at the sight of the vampire hunter, but they still try to put up a fight. Blade, however, takes them out with little to no effort and even kills their leader, Quinn. After saving the human from being a rare steak dinner, Blade leaves as the police arrive, walking off like it was just another day in the office. Coming in at number 6 is Black Widow. Behind every great man is an even greater woman, and while we all know that Pepper Potts has and forever will be the one lady who keeps Tony Stark grounded, this scene is about the entrance of another beloved woman in the Marvel Universe who made her first show in Iron Man 2. While Tony's trying to outmaneuver his own robots that were turned against him, Happy Hogan and Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson, go to the source to stop the villain and put an end to the onslaught of robots. Happy's reluctant to let Black Widow go alone and tries to help, but as soon as the red-headed spy comes bursting through the door, she makes short work of the security guards. Left and right, this knockout takes out these guys who are severely outclassed and underpaid to have to get slapped around by this S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Oh, and Happy punched a guard also. Hey, it's the effort that counts, isn't it?
Full slide secure.
With a list about the top 10 heroic entrances, it's only natural that we include Marvel's own mutant acrobat, that swashbuckling wonder, the man who puts the Chief in mischief, Nightcrawler. Played by the versatile and esteemed Alan Cumming himself, the former circus star made his live-action debut in X2, X-Men United, in which he broke into the White House with the intention to kill the president. Kurt entered under the guise of a tourist, but his devilish prehensile tail gave him away, and so he likewise threw away all subtlety. From agile kicks to his disappearing acts of teleportation that leaves puffs of brimstone smoke in his wake, Nightcrawler throws the security detail for a loop and corners them all in the Oval Office. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that Nightcrawler left his audience speechless after that daring show. Coming in next is Aquaman, the one true king. Worthiness. Uneasy is the head that wears a crown. These are themes we've seen more than once throughout cinema, but it never really gets tiring to see, especially with such a great character as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman. With Jason Momoa reprising his role as DC's champion of the sea in his own solo film, he had to go through a lot of adversity to prove his worthiness as the one true king. From fighting his wicked brother who'd sooner see him dead than at the family reunion, to another seafaring nemesis in Black Manta, as well as his own personal issues, Arthur was rather reluctant to take up such a huge role as king of an entire kingdom, especially when he's so used to living a simple life in his own fishing town. But over the course of the film, Arthur gradually sees the beauty of the other home he never knew he had and how important it is to keep it safe. So when the trial to see if he's worthy to take the king's trident comes, he makes it clear that he won't back down with that usual scathing sailor attitude. So the sea monster allows him to try and take hold of the trident, and if he's unworthy, then Arthur is fish food. You can feel the tension in the air, or the waves I guess I should say, as Arthur reaches out and takes hold of the trident for the first time. And as soon as he does, the half-Atlantean feels an instant connection. All of the animals of the sea link to his mind, and the power radiating from the trident flow through him, and by the end, Arthur comes up from the depths decked out in the classic orange and green Aquaman suit. Truly, he's proven himself to be the one true king. We've got another scene from Avengers Endgame, because really a lot of great entrances came in this film that simply just can't be ignored. And one of those entrances was a dazzling last-minute save from Brie Larson's Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. When he was entangled in the grip of Scarlet Witch's chaotic energy, Thanos ordered the war machines to rain down a hail of bullets and energy blasts upon the heroes so that he could finally get to the Infinity Gauntlet. Even with their great numbers, the Avengers couldn't focus on the ground forces and the aerial forces at the same time. It seemed like that they were destined to lose yet again until the warship turns their torrents away from them. But it wasn't to shoot at a specific hero or group. Oh no. It was to shoot upward, and in a flurry of cosmic aura, Captain Marvel flies down from the sky and tackles through each warship like a football player kicking down a tower of wooden toy blocks. The heroes below watch in awe as Captain Marvel comes in clutch and brings the warships down like it's nothing before taking the Infinity Gauntlet from Spider-Man to keep it away from Thanos' forces along with the other women of Marvel. And that's what makes this entrance a marvelous one to remember. Passing the countdown baton back to DC, we're going to talk about easily the most iconic entrance of The Dark Knight Rises. After the events in the previous film The Dark Knight, Bruce has been keeping a low profile, and by extent so has the Caped Crusader. But after 8 years, something bad comes to Gotham. A storm, as Selina Kyle aka the Catwoman so warned. And when that storm hits Gotham in the form of the tactical powerhouse Bane, Bruce decides that it's time to don the cape and cowl once again. Following an armed robbery at the Gotham Stock Exchange, the criminals ward off pursuing authorities with 2 hostages they kidnap. As the armed robbers make their escape in the tunnel, the lights start going out and a flash of darkness zooms past the patrol car. While the rookie cop is confused by this, the veteran cop looks on with delight, informing his fellow officer that he's in for a show tonight. And sure enough, as the lights come back on, the Dark Knight appears in all of his vigilante glory in hot pursuit of the armed robbers on his sleek bat cycle. Just as the veteran cop said, this entrance was indeed a show to behold. And last, but by no means least, we close things off with by far the biggest heroic entrance in cinematic superhero history. We've seen a lot of entrances of heroes working on their own, or a dynamic duo swooping in side by side to save the day. However, the best entrances are definitely when all of the heroes of a franchise come together in order to defeat a great evil. That's what happened towards the tail end of the movie Avengers Endgame. Having already taken down Iron Man and Thor, it was left to Captain America to fight the Titan on his own, but even with both his shield and Mjolnir at his disposal, Steve Rogers just can't take down Thanos, and there was still his army to contend with. But the super soldier was ready to go down fighting before he even considered surrender. Luckily enough, he wouldn't have to do either, as he heard the familiar voice of his dear friend Sam Wilson, aka Falcon. Captain America can hardly believe it, and Falcon tells him to check his 6, and as he turns around, he sees Black Panther, Shuri, and Okoye step out of a portal, and not long after, all of the other heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe come out one by one to stand together and fight against Thanos in the ultimate battle. And just before they go into battle, Cap says the 2 words everyone's been waiting to hear.
Assemble.
And with that last grand entrance, we make our grand closing. I hope you enjoyed this sequel list. Were there any other heroic first appearances you remember that I haven't covered here? If there are, tell me about them in the comments below. And if you don't mind, I'd be grateful if you liked the video. You're even welcome to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.